how have you been since I saw you at Warped Tour randomly in Orlando?
So yeah, first of all, thanks for inviting me to hang out, chat with you guys. It was awesome. I know it was a little bit of a hustle connecting because Christmas and all these
Yeah,
times
no
of
worries.
disconnecting and all that, but it's been good. I flew to Chile for USA winter time to take care of my bike park. I do have a bike park out here. We do events, we do classes, we do activities, and it requires a lot of maintenance, so we've been working on that stuff and a couple of marketing campaigns around park. So that's been keeping me super busy. And then
Yeah.
of course doing some body training because I actually got the text today. I was like, "Hey dude, are you in for Warp Tour? We have 5 stops next year. It's kind of global tour. And are you in and what dates?" So so yeah.
So gonna be on Warped Tour again next year? Well, this year.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be hectic because it's 5 stops. So, and one stop is already a lot.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's a big festival now. Like it used to be a lot of work back in the day when it was like every day you're in a different city. But I still think a big festival still takes a lot of work as well.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And then for us, we have to ride BMX. That vert is not small. It's a big size vert ramp. So we just been. You can't take it easy. You have to go all out. Just full speed is the only speed, and every time you drop it in the vert is like a little intimidating, but it's fun. You have a lot of people watching, so you better do a good job. But we do a couple of shows a day, and then that's 2 days of that, and then pack and go, you know?
Right. Yeah, I
So
mean, at least you don't have to go to another s couple cities, right after that. It's not in a row like you keep doing it like day after day after day for like weeks on end.
exactly. That makes it a little easier for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
100%.
'cause when I was watching the vert ramp at Warped Tour in Orlando, I remember looking up and I was like, I think I know that guy up top on the vert. And I'm like, and then when you dropped in and then they announced your name and stuff, I'm like, hey, I do know that guy.
That's so funny.
But
I know.
I hadn't seen you in like 17 years, so it was like crazy to see you up there. I'm like, oh, I do know him. Oh, he looks the same.
17 years. Yeah, that's right, because we last time we hung out was at the state fair,
Yeah, it was like State Fair.
Wisconsin.
It could have been another thing too. You guys did some stuff in like
Oh,
Oshkosh
that
or something, I
oh
believe.
we did came through a few more times, but it was like around '06,
Yeah,
'05.
'06, '07, something like that. Yeah, it was a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago.
Yeah, that's
So I
insane.
was
Time.
shocked that you remembered me.
No, for sure. How I'm gonna forget you guys about you guys, the best crew out there in Wisconsin.
Yep, we were the best crew.
Exactly. So cool. Unforgettable times for sure. That's when I used to back then we were doing those shows was when I was starting to do events and
Hmm.
shows around the USA. And and then this Wisconsin State Fair was were the biggest shows we had in the years. In those years, it was like 13, 15 days in a row. And we were riding every day nonstop, meeting new people, hanging out. It was awesome. A
Yeah.
lot of work though. A lot of work.
I mean, everything's a lot of work these days, or even back in the day.
You sound like an old lady now. It's true.
You were
I
just
am an
saying you
old
were old
lady.
right before this.
I am an old lady. Actually, no, you and I, Coco, are pretty close to the same age because you have a birthday coming up in April, right?
Yeah, I want to say I'm a lot older than you.
You're not, though. I'm a year
Be
older
nice.
than
I'm
you.
trying to be nice. I'm
I'm a
trying to.
year older than you, or at least I will be once you
Dang,
have your
that's
turn the big 4-2, right?
yeah,
In
exactly.
April. So
Mm-hmm.
happy early birthday,
Thank you.
but you're still
Same,
younger than me.
same to you. I know. Yeah, my body doesn't feel too young after so many injuries, but
Yeah.
But I do, that's why I try to, you know what, trying to eat healthy, sleep well, get some good training in your body, then that helps a lot to maintain the BMX and activities and all that.
Yeah.
So
I'm not doing any of those things.
you're dedicated to the music and I
Yeah,
guess
that's the most exercise I get is when I go to like a concert and I get to like jump around at a show. And
exactly.
Chris
Don't
laughs at me.
I've seen you go on hikes.
Well, I do go hiking sometimes in the summertime with my husband and we kayak. So
Yeah, that's good. You have a little bit of action in your
a
life. That's
little
good.
bit, but not probably enough.
Exactly. That's good though. That's good.
Yeah, you did Warp Tour a long time ago in like Australia, right?
Mm, yeah, so as far as Warped Tour goes, for what I remember, we did the Gold Coast tour in Australia. That was like 5 stops, kind of in a row. Then, no, every weekend, right? And then we did Warped Tour in the East Coast. I think somewhere near Virginia area, somewhere around there. And then also San Francisco. And then the ones we just did this past year, I did Long Beach and Miami,
Well,
Orlando. I'm sorry,
Orlando,
Orlando.
yeah.
Yeah, those two. So those are like all my warp tours. So I think overall there's like five in Australia, two more in US, and then two more this past year. So that's like nine, almost 10 warp
Yeah,
tours under my sleeve.
it's quite a
That's
few
pretty
Warp
good.
Tours.
And then five more this next year. That'll put me to 15,
Yeah,
which is fun. It's different when you compete versus do a demo. When we do
right.
demos, they're way more fun, more chill.
Well, it's less riding on the line, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's good. The only thing is that I wish we could spend a little more time on each city, like
Right.
couple extra days and stuff. But it's going to Canada this year, right?
Yeah, Montreal.
Montreal.
Montreal, yeah. That's is that wh where
It's
in the map
it's
located?
it's right above New York State. So it's East
Oh
Coast, right
my
above New York State.
goodness, that's far. Wow. Yeah, that's in the corner, huh?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever been there. Yeah, maybe
Yeah. Chris is going to the DC Warp Tour this year. I'm not
Yeah.
going this year because I can't afford it.
I'm going to
Washington.
DC, and then I had done the pre-sale tickets, and like a month later they announced Montreal, which is like an hour closer to me. I'm like, darn. But sorry, Montreal's got the
Oh,
better lineup in my opinion too.
does it really? Oh wow. Yeah, so because DC and Montreal is they're not too far, right?
If you were to drive, I would imagine it's probably close to 11 hours.
Oh, it's not too bad. Okay. Not too bad. And then you got Mexico. That's gonna be a big one. That's gonna be huge. Because I don't think they've ever done Mexico ever in the history.
No, I don't think they've
No.
ever gone south of the
And
border.
see, and Mexico is a huge country and state and city. So I think it's gonna be massive, Mexico. It's gonna be cool. That's gonna be fun to go for sure.
It'll be fun to see the pictures and the videos from Mexico to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna be bigger than LA, I wanna say. So
It might be. We'll have to find out. I
looking
was told
forward to.
Orlando had 72,000 people the first
Mm-hmm.
day. So,
Oh, the first day.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Is that more than Long Beach? I
I
guess.
have no idea. I don't
Yeah,
know the specs. This is just something I heard from a friend of mine that was working
from people.
at Warped
Yeah,
Tour. Yeah.
yeah. So that means you have to be ready to get dirty and sweaty out there for sure.
So I know you've been to other Warped Tours over the years and done the vert stuff and everything. Now, this last year, like the music was pretty darn close. Like, how did it feel, you know, riding your bike on the vert ramp while like, bands like Sublime or Mayday Parade were playing in the background?
So sick, so sick. Yeah, it was actually pretty amazing. I remember being in Yeah, it was at Long Beach, and they were playing not too far from the ramp, and you could see a sea of people in front of the stage that connected the crowd from the ramp into the stage. And I was like, holy cow, there's so many people here. It's insane. And then it was epic because then Pennywise also played when we were riding at one of the shows, which it was epic. And then also, I don't know which who else did Descendants, maybe Descendants. They
Could
were
have been.
playing. They were also playing, and then Tony Hawk jumped on stage to play with them. One of the musics, the songs from the PlayStation game, Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
He was singing with the band right before he was riding with us. So it was
right.
pretty amazing. So yeah, it was like very surreal riding with Tony Hawk on the ramp. All of a sudden, next show he's in the stage singing with the band. And then the third show we did, it was Pennywise playing, which we kind of grew up with BMX and hardcore music and listening to bands like that. So it was pretty freaking sick.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to actually go physically see any of the bands? Or just while you were riding?
No, personally not. We could have hustled a couple of tickets just to go backstage, but honestly, it's it's a lot, you know. It's once you're there, you're trying to hide all day from the heat. You're trying to you're in energy saving mode, so whenever it's go time, you're like full throttle.
Hmm.
Then you're finishing all tired and sweaty. Now try to go hide from the sun again, because in 2 hours you got to go out again. So it's like you're almost like focusing on that routine, and then by the time these bands that you like, that I like, play, they start playing, you can see them from far away. That's good. That's enough. That makes it, for me. I don't need to go backstage and hang out with those guys or do anything like that. It would be cool, but like I said, you have to like go ask around for tickets and passes and then walk your way out there. It'll take you 15 minutes. By the time you get back, it was gonna be 45 minutes later, and then you only have like a small amount of time to rest. So in a
Yeah.
way, you gotta put it in the balance and then see if he is worth it.
Well,
But we from the ramp, we have an amazing view though. We have like an
oh yeah.
amazing view. Yeah, we're right there, so it's kind of like pretty badass from
Yeah, I know
up.
in Orlando, the stage was pretty much right behind the ramp because you guys were really close to even the lineup below.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end of the shows, last show at nighttime, there was this super heavy metal band playing on this big stage. I forgot the name. It was so freaking good that I had to look him up. I was like, while I was in the show, I could hear the music, and I was like, dude, this dude is sick. I need to get his name and look him up and stuff. I forgot. I think I have it here somewhere, but
I'm trying to think
it
who played late.
it
It
was
wasn't Falling
all
in Reverse, was it?
a dude with long hair, like super heavy metal. Yeah, pretty heavy metal dude. Long hair, a lot of screaming, like "Wah!" I liked it. It was
Narrows
sick.
it down. It narrows it
It's
down.
very
I
similar to Atreju. Atreju?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like that style of music. Very
Okay.
similar to Atreju. And then, but I think it might have been that. It might have been, or maybe not. Nah, you got me. Never mind. But it
Who
was
knows?
good.
You can figure it out later.
Yeah, and then the lights, everything was dark. You could see a sea of people, but just the shadow of the people. You couldn't even see the actual people because you had the contrast from the stage. Stage was red and blue lights while they were playing with this heavy metal. It was epic. I was like, dang, this makes me want to go right hard. And then the fireworks came out, and then
Hmm.
and the drone show. So
Yeah, the
all that.
drone was cool because it did like the Warp Tour like logo and stuff.
So gangster. I'm like, dude, this is sick. This show is awesome. So
would it have been Wage War?
No, they weren't on a main stage.
Wait, or oh, it was a main stage
Yeah, it
99.
would have been left or right stage.
main stage
Falling
around.
Falling in Reverse was left, and that was at 9:40 something. I think it looks like it says.
So no, it was before that. Our last show was probably around. No, yeah, before that, like 6 or 7. Big stage.
Hmm,
It was
I don't know
definitely
what.
not nighttime.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
what.
I'm trying to think here. Would it have been Motionless in White or I
Mm,
Prevail?
I prevail. That's
Oh,
it.
that makes sense.
I
Okay.
prevail. Yes, that's what it was.
I was looking at my
Yeah.
phone. I have the blow up thing on my list here
Oh, nice,
on my
sick.
phone still.
Yeah, I prevail. Yeah, that dude was sick. He had a couple of songs that they were like pretty sick, pretty solid. And then, but yeah, it was an awesome experience. Definitely, if anybody's watching here and they're thinking about going to Warped Tour, get some nice comfy shoes and go because it's badass.
Yeah, my shoes were not comfy enough. By day two, I was getting blisters and I had to get band-aids from the first aid people to put on
I
the bottom of
know
my feet so I could
it's
survive.
gnarly. It hurts, right? It's gnarly. I can't believe how people do it when they're wearing these boots, like punk rock metal boots with like girls with the big sole and stuff. I'm like, those are heavy and hot, and maybe they don't look that comfortable. So it's like, if you calculate how many steps you take every day, by the time you park or you walk to the bus or whatever, it's like, dude, you do like 15, 20,000 feet at least, 20,000 steps on your feet every day.
It's
It's
true.
gnarly. It's gnarly. And it's dusty as hell.
It is. I feel like Orlando would have been dustier than Long Beach.
Yeah. Yeah, Long Beach wasn't that bad actually, yeah. Because they had
Yeah.
right at the pier, that's where they set it up. There's some grass, but mostly it is a massive parking space. So a
Hmm.
lot of it is concrete, not too much grass,
Yeah.
but
I feel like I've heard people saying it was super hot because of that.
yeah, it's definitely warm. It was definitely a warm day. I definitely want to say between 85, yeah, like
Dang.
80, 85-ish,
It was hot in
Nice.
Orlando, but I don't think it was too bad because it was November.
Yeah, yeah. I will say it was a little hotter than a little like 5 degrees more than Orlando.
Well, it was warmer
But
than Orlando in Long
but
Beach.
but dry, not humid.
It's
So,
true. It's true.
but still, it's still nice, as long as it's sunny, it's amazing. So,
Yeah, the weather was great, so but
exactly.
so I am curious, like, who are some of your favorite bands?
So my favorite, I listen to a lot of music nowadays, different styles. I've been through phases, growing
We've
up.
all
I
gone
went
through
I
phases.
went through punk rock, then rap, then some electronic, then emo, then heavier metal, and then old school rock. And then I have not gone through country yet.
You don't want to. You don't
And
need
then,
to.
and then and then, but I do like Metallica a lot. Some of their old albums and Ride the Lightning album is pretty sick. You know what I like those AC/DC obviously. I like Danzig, and Misfit music is pretty good. I've been going back to those in
Yeah.
the past few years. I do like TV on the radio. I definitely have songs of them in my iPods, and then bands like that, and also some electronic music. Also, I do listen. My brother is really into reggaeton, like Bad Bunny stuff, for the
Okay.
past 6, 7 years, and I was never into that stuff, but every time we'll drive together, he will be always playing that or at the house sometimes. And then I was like, dang, this is not bad. Or when we were partying, because when you go party, you don't want to listen to emo, rock, heavy metal, or any of that, right? You're trying to go
I don't know.
out.
I would.
You're trying to go out, dance with some chicks and have some fun, get down, get some shots and drink, whatever, have fun, right? But but then when you start playing like that reggaeton music, it brings the magic to the room. Like it's crazy the energy that brings and how happy the music is and how what it creates, and because music is powerful enough to uh, to motivate you, to inspire you, to put you in a time capsule and take you different places, right? And in this case, for me, I've always ridden bikes. Even back when I met you in 2003, 4, I will always listen to music while I'm riding, and I'll have my playlist, and I will prepare a playlist for that month. I'll use it that month, and then take the music out, put new music, and then always because I will find different songs and playlists. They will motivate me to write harder and stronger and fill me with feelings, right? So it makes sense that when you're dancing, having fun, and partying, like reggaeton is such happy music. That's kind of like carnival music in a way, kind of Brazil, same thing. They have their own music out there, which is pretty cool. And then, so I ended up listening to some of their songs too every so often. It's funny, I'll have like Metallica, and then a random Bad Bunny song will come on. So bizarre. But for some reason in my head it worked. And then, but in my core, if I had to die with some music, will probably be with some rock music.
Yeah.
I like Doom. I like a lot Doom rock, like slow, like like um like how do you say, like desert rock, heavy metal or rock. I don't know what it is, something like that. I enjoy that a lot, even for my videos, fast videos of BMX, slow motion clips with a slow drum. It's super sick. The deep sounds and all that vibe is heavy, it's super heavy and deep, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, just moving away from music a little bit. Personally, having been a skater now for about 26 years at this point, I know a lot of skating is mental. Does that translate into BMX as well? Is there a lot of mental battling for a trick versus the physicality of it?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, no, totally. Yeah, yeah. 26 years. What year you started?
I
98?
can tell you what age I was. I don't know if I can tell you what
Oh,
year it was. I was 14, so that would put me around 2000,
dude,
2001.
that's exactly when I started. At like 14, but I started on when I was not in 1998. And then so that puts me on 28 years riding bikes. And then it is mental, 100%. 100%, 100%, super mental. I mean, there's always the fear, adrenaline factor. I think we even come to these sports because we have a need of show ourselves, share with people, be seen is really important, for the human race in general. Our minds, they work with attention, our bodies and all our actions, they depend on how much attention we have or we have not. So I do believe that we are in our heads so much when riding bicycles. We don't even realize there's a state of flow when you're like creating these movements and you are doing the sport, which disconnects you from your brain a little bit. But any other time you stop in the deck or you're taking a breathe, it's like your brain continues to function, and then yeah, the fear factor is huge. How do you face all your fears and insecurities? The adrenaline that flows through your body, how do you process that? Do you get anxiety from it or do you get peace? Can you control that? Do you go in the middle, half and half, or do you, uh, does adrenaline makes you go even crazier, out of control? Some people do, you know. Some of the people get more calm and more under control. So we all are very different in that aspect. But it's super interesting how technical it is when you talk about your brain functioning.
Yeah. I never
Yeah.
got into skateboarding. I think I was afraid of falling.
Yeah, it makes sense. Being that's that. Let me introduce you a normal human being.
I mean, I don't know how normal I am, but
Well, that's exactly like kind of like what we're talking about though, right? That fear, like you're afraid of falling, and like it continues even as you progress. Like oh, like even with skating, like the worst pain a skater will ever tell you that they feel is that board hitting them sideways in the shin, right? Like that's
Mm,
straight the worst feeling. I mean, I'm sure breaking bones is terrible and everything, but something you've experienced on the daily is the board just hitting your shin. And even thinking like, oh, if I don't catch this right, the board's gonna hit me in the leg. Like there's always
yeah,
a fear. There's always like you have to learn to tune it out. And I guess maybe to a point, that's what separates people who like do start to try and then stop.
right.
Getting over that beginning part of I might fall, I might get hurt. Um, I remember this is just a random story at this point. I remember at one point I was skating with my friends. We were maybe 16 or 17. I'm like, I haven't fallen in a long time. I was like, I kind of just want to mess something up on purpose and fall. I was like,
mm.
I need the feedback. I was like, I'm getting too confident. And so I tried something crazy and I fell. But yeah, there was something about that need for reality of I'm
Yeah.
gonna fall eventually. And I got into like just this little zone of these tricks I knew I could not slam on every time. And eventually I was like, no, I need to break that comfort barrier.
I stuck to rollerblading and riding my dyno BMX bike.
Oh, nice. That
My
you
old
had a
dyno, I
dyno?
wanted that thing so bad.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, those are classics. They're worth like $2,000 now. So
Oh man, I should have kept it.
you better go find it.
I think I gifted it to some kid because I
That's
wasn't riding it anymore. So
that's nice. Yeah, that's good. Good deed, a good deed
a
for
good
sure.
deed,
You're
yes.
going to heaven. But
I can only
what
hope.
what yes, what Chris was saying is true. Is like sometimes you're like, dude, I haven't got hurt or I haven't crashed in a while. I think something big is coming. Hopefully not. Or you try to shake things up just to get that little bit of a action or crash in your body. But that's kind of like how everybody works in a different way, you know? It's like in relationships. Some people are like, yeah, we haven't fought in a while with my girlfriend. I feel like we need to fight. We need that food. That's food for the relationship, like fighting and arguing and and then it could get to a point where it's toxic, right? But for us as extreme sport athletes, it's like that could be dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
But then some other guys are cool riding a small ledge forever with the same trick always and
Hmm.
talking to the boys for 3 hours doing five tricks and keeping it super mellow. For me, I was never like that. I was more like Chris. I was like, let's push it, but let's try to not get hurt. Let's push it, try not to get hurt. And yeah, of course, crashing and doing this is inevitable, so it's gonna happen no matter what. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious only because you mentioned small ledges. So in the skateboarding world, there's infamous spots, right? You've got like El Toro, Macba, Hollywood 16. Are there any infamous BMX spots that you'd love to session?
Well, those ones are pretty. They're also sessions by BMXers, street guys. For me, we have like the vert ramps. I only do vert, big ramps or bowls, and I do like Tony Hawk ramp. He has a private warehouse. We ride that place a lot. We got Woodward Camp. We got Woodward East. I did got a ramp here in Chile that I liked a lot. Now it needs to be maintenance, but they're all pretty similar birds. There's one, let me see. Yeah, there's one big bowl here in Chile that's like 13 concrete bird, massive, that I have not, it's like brand new. They built it like 3 years ago. I have not being able to had the time or invest the time to feel good on it, but I need to. Today I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, I need to go face that son of a gun and do some cool tricks on it. But part of me was like, dang, but that sounds so scary because it's concrete and it's 14, 13, between 12 and 13. No, I want to say more like 13. It's deep, super deep, big. I'm like, dude, that's a big sucker. I'm like, you got to be ready.
Yeah.
Is it one of those smooth concrete ones or is it like the gritty concrete?
No, it's actually the nice, smooth ones, the new ones. So they just built it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, max, no more than that. And dude, the bowl is beautiful. And last year I was riding that place, or 2 years ago, I was riding it every day for a month and a half, every day. And I felt so good, did some amazing tricks, and I felt great. But the corner, there's the big, deep end that I haven't touched yet. So,
Yeah.
but again, it's like,
You're getting older, you're worried. You don't want to hurt yourself.
exact. You gotta play smart, right? You gotta play smart for sure.
Is there a trick that you always wanted to land but never could, or maybe didn't work up the courage to try?
Yeah, I will say like a double spin. It's a called in a vert. It's not a backflip. When you do a backflip, it's straight. You go this way and you land that way. But when you're in a half pipe, you have to do the spin and come back the same direction you started. So do that twice. So it's like double flare. That's what it's called. And it's super gnarly. There's a couple of guys in the planet that did it on a big ramp. On the smaller ramps, there's a lot of guys doing it, but in a big ramp, not that many. It's gnarly because you have so much momentum, and if you miss, if you over rotate, you get whiplash in the ground, and then your shoulders, rib cage, head, helmet, everything gets smashed into the ground. It could be super gnarly. So it's one of those tricks you really have to put a lot on the line, and it might not be worth it, for the amount of for what you get versus the risk. So, I
Hmm.
mean, what you get is the glory, right? That's it. But that's it. But but if you break yourself, then you get a $20,000 bill in the mail from the hospital and 6 months of recovery, So in a way, it's like at this age,
Yeah.
you
At
don't have
this
to
age,
put.
you gotta weigh the good and the bad that could happen.
Totally. When you're young, you're like trying to prove yourself. You're trying to show the world who you are. Nowadays, it's like, dude, I don't care. I don't care if they know. I don't care if they find out. I don't care about anything. I just want to be chill, healthy, and be able to fly on my bike, no problems. So in a way, there's no one else to prove. I already proved everybody at the state fair in Wisconsin.
Yes.
In
Yes.
2005, doing those bike shows.
Well, you also proved everyone because you were the first person to, land a triple tail whip.
Yeah, I did a bunch of crazy stuff throughout my career, which they're pretty hard. They're not like insane, stupid hard, but for a kid that came from Chile with nothing and started a new career at the age of 18 in USA in a new country with a different language, it's pretty cool. It's different. So I'm happy with that stuff. I always look back and I say, I'm like, I could have done so much more. But then also when you do more, you also lose more because no matter what you do in life, you always have to jeopardize some things to get these new things, right? And the
Hmm.
more new things you want, the more things you have to let go and forget, right? Or jeopardize. So for me, I was like, I did jeopardize a lot, like leaving my country, my family, my friends, my life here in a comfortable country, and then move out there alone, try to hustle from zero, and then just that a lot. It's a lot, and then breaking bones, fighting with companies to get support is not easy, and then finally make those things, and then you're like, should we keep going? It gets to a point where it's not pleasant anymore, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, you're like, screw this. I don't want it that bad, you know? But I have some friends that are crazy. They're crazy on their heads, and they're like full throttle trying to get everything, win everything. Is and it to each his own, you know? Everybody has their choices in life directions, and for them that works great. But and you have to submit yourself to a lot of pain also, you know.
Hmm.
So overall, but yeah, for me, I was good. That's enough.
Now I want to twist it around a little. I want to know if your favorite trick was a song, what trick would it be and what song would it be?
There's two songs that come to my head. One is um, uh, Wolf Like Me from TV on the Radio, which is awesome. I love that song. And the other one is like From Whom the Bell Tolls. Is it From Whom the Bell Tolls? From Metallica.
Okay.
Eh, wait, is it like that? Yeah, something like that. And then yeah, those two songs are pretty freaking sick. They do inspire me a lot year after year. I try to not listen to those songs too much because I know they're like diamonds, you know?
Yeah.
And I
What
use them.
what tricks would those songs be?
Oh, what tricks? Oh, the songs. What tricks will they? Oh my goodness.
I know.
Uh, I will say like the Metallica song will be like just a really extremely high tabletop, like a simple trick, super simple but style tabletop when you put the bike upside down and then just stall in the air, but going like 14 feet high, and then on top of the ramp that puts you in 28 feet high, and then the other one, I think also another simple trick could be like a moto whip, which is like when you whip the
Hmm.
bicycle sideways.
Okay.
I think that those two tricks are, and those are one of my favorite tricks to do always. And I think those songs fit really well with those.
Yeah. What's the highest you've ever gone on a vert ramp?
I think it's been 18 feet tall, 18 feet. Oh, on a vert, like 14 on the big ramp, the mega, which is the big 28-foot ramp. I've been 16 feet up.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
can't even imagine that.
Super gnarly. The feeling you have is like floating up in there. It's like, wow, crazy, ridiculous.
I can't imagine that. The highest I've ever been in is in a play airplane, but I definitely have never gone very high on my dyno bicycle. No. Mm-mm.
I know. Airplanes. I know. Those are, it's so scary to think you're in a plane, you're in a capsule in the air, and it could fall any second, but
Uh-oh.
they don't.
Stop talking. Don't
Oh
scare
no.
Chris. Don't scare Chris. He's
I'm
got
I'm
to
a
fly to Greece.
Yeah, I'm a terrible flyer, and but I decided to book a flight to Greece. I've always wanted to go to Greece,
You could
and
take a cruise.
that's like I think it's like a 11-day transatlantic cruise if I were to cruise. It's long,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a lot.
So nah, I gotta fly. I've been looking up random plane facts though to try and make myself better. What I learned that again, random tangent, is that the most structurally like the most integral part of the plane is actually the wings. And they said that the wings aren't attached just to the side of the plane. The wings are one solid piece.
From the
So
bottom, huh?
from left
Right?
to right, it goes through the fuselage. And they're like, don't think of the wings being attached to the fuselage. The fuselage is attached to the wings.
Mm.
Because they were talking about like, oh no, don't think about the wings falling off. They're like, it's not going to fall off, even if all the rivets on the side of the plane for one of the wings came off, it's still attached in the center.
Wow, that's pretty. I never even, I've always thought dang, the wings move a lot. I'm like, imagine that snaps and falls off. But it makes sense what you're saying, totally.
Yeah, that's the other thing that always worried me too. Like, oh, they're bending a lot, they're moving. I researched that too. The wings are designed to hold up to 150% of what they're actually going to experience in the air. And they can actually bend up to 24 degrees and be
Wow.
fine.
See, you're
Um,
gonna be fine, Chris. You're gonna be fine.
I still no. I say I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna get to the airport because okay, we're flying from Syracuse to Charlotte and then Charlotte to Athens. And like I just see myself getting onto the like plane or even just going down the I'm gonna call it like the death hallway onto the airplane, whatever they call
Hmm.
those things. And I'm just gonna be freaking out. I'm gonna have to be pushed in.
They got little like handicap like wheelchair things. You could probably get someone to push you
I'm
in.
gonna be shaking. I already told Cassie, I'm like, how are we're both bad flyers. I'm like, how are we gonna get on a plane?
You
Dude, you'll
guys will
be
do it. You'll be
fine.
fine.
Yeah, you'll forget about it with excitement. And then, yeah, there's the amount of planes that there are every single day is insane across the world. It's ridiculous. You just have to sit back and relax, enjoy the ride. That,
I bet you've
that's
been
it.
on a lot of planes, Coco.
Yeah, yeah. For the past, I mean, my whole career, actually, when pandemic happened, the best thing that it could have happened to me was not being able to fly because I didn't want to fly out. I'm like so happy. Even now, I think I have to go back to LA next week, and I'm like, dude, that sucks. Just the hustle through it. But there's a little bit of excitement of like you're packing up, you're going through the airport, you're going to a new area, new environment. Then you get to LA. I haven't been in LA in 3 months, so it's fresh and nice and cool. And I'm like, dang, this feels good.
How long of a flight is that?
Direct fly is about 10 hours, 10 and a half. And then with a layover, it turns out to be 16 hours. So,
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah,
not
from
too
Charlotte to
crazy.
Athens is 10 hours.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Probably direct fly, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm leaving here. I'm in upstate New York, and then we're going flying down to Charlotte. We have 4 hours in Charlotte for me to contemplate 10 hours on a plane.
I was gonna say your
Nice.
flight down to Charlotte's gonna be your test flight. Hopefully you can get on the second plane.
If I can get
Yeah.
through Charlotte, like if I can get from here to Charlotte, I should be okay to get on the other one.
Yeah, you'll be chilling. Yeah, it's good. Nothing happens.
I'll bring
People,
plenty of Xanax. I'll be all right.
exactly. People always say they're like, dude, there's more car accidents than planes. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll believe that.
See, but I also don't like my problem isn't like the thought of like the plane going down or anything like that. Like cars versus like the plane. My problem is the plane starts going down, you've got a minute and a half to think about what's happening. That's my problem.
Yeah, exactly. You got a minute and a half to take a couple of more selfies.
Take
Yeah.
selfies while the plane's going down.
And
Imagine.
Do they
try
upload?
and
Make sure they upload to your cloud.
yeah, I'll be
Wow.
sure that I got the free in-air Wi-Fi and I'm gonna take a picture and be like last one, bye, and just make sure it's
So,
posted.
nah, you'll be fine. You're good. Plus, those big
Yeah.
airplanes, the planes that go from one continent to the other ones are massive and smooth and super nice. You can watch Batman, Superman, the Avengers, whatever you want.
Just watch a bunch of movies. You'll be good.
Exactly.
You'll be good.
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
try and sleep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially if you want to feel good when you get there, you know. That's that's key.
This is
Super
true.
key.
This is true.
Uh-huh.
So, speaking of trips, this is probably going to be a really bad transition, but that's okay. Speaking of trips, was there ever a moment in your career where you realized BMX had taken you way further than you ever imagined?
Yeah, yeah, you know what? But you know the part that sucks is that didn't happen when I was in it fully fully in full action, in motion, right? Throughout my the middle of my career. it was like after a while, like when pandemic hit, I was like, after pandemic hit a couple of years, when competitions kind of died down on my discipline, I was like, dude, actually, I'm okay with no competing anymore. I'm like, I feel pretty good. And actually, yeah, the stuff that I did was pretty badass, pretty cool. It was way more than I even ex could have expected or imagined, way more. And then that's when I was like, it hit me. I was like, dude, I've done a lot. In a way, in a nice way, where I'm like, I don't feel like I am in debt or BMX owes me or I owe BMX anything. We're both happy and content with what we've done. And then if I had to get off my bike tomorrow, I'll be super happy, you know? So in a way, it was kind of a healthy realization moment of like, yeah, we've done it enough. It's
Yeah.
been good, you know?
You have done a lot though. You went to
So
like 11 X Games, right? Something
like
like that.
15th, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is like also you're competing with people like Pastrana, Travis Pastrana, Sean White, Ryan Checkler, and a lot of Nigel Houston, a lot of athletes that have like multiple X Games medals, like 5, 8, 10, 15. So you're always like comparing yourself to people like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, dang, I only have two and a couple other things and here and there. And you're like, dang, that's not 5 medals or 10. But I'm happy. I'm content, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the point of comparison that goes through my head in a way, you know. But but yeah, for sure I'm happy, you know.
Well, that's all that matters is that you're happy.
Feeling blessed. Yeah, I definitely feel blessed for the opportunity, and then the people that I met along the way, the places I traveled along the way, the sponsors and companies, and then everything that BMX, because all these disciplines, they also kind of forge your personality. They shape you, they guide
Hmm.
you. So in a way, I think the persistence that I have, it definitely comes from BMX. And it's cool because you can apply that to other areas of your life, you know? The pain tolerance. That's a big one because nowadays, especially with the new generations, they're not very pain tolerant at all. So I think I'm happy because our pain tolerance is pretty good as extreme sports athlete, you know?
Aside from the pain tolerance of the newer generation of riders, how has the progression of BMX over the years kind of evolved?
Oh, it's super gnarly right now. In 2020, I think it got into the first Olympic Games. As soon as that happened, then all the athletes competing towards that, they evolved tremendously. And then the other side of the athletes that they were more hardcore, they didn't care much about Olympics. They want to do more videos, stay in the streets and all that. Those guys were they continue doing their life and lifestyle the way they like it, while the Olympic guys are like pushing tricks, and more difficulties. I don't even know where it's going to end in the next few years. It's pretty insane. That's
Um,
kind of.
yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna go from progression and I'm gonna dial it way, 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 way back. So growing up, I had a few friends really get into flatland BMX. Have
Hmm.
you ever dabbled in that at all?
When I started in the ground, riding flatland, super chill with a couple of tricks. And then after that, flatland evolved into like jumping curves, jumping little jumps, and then medium jumps. And then I guess my personality was a little more aggressive. And then it depends on your personality. If you're like more technical, more quiet, more chilled, you can sit and be in your brain for a long time without having to move around, then maybe your mind will drift towards more of flatland, which is a sport where you have to think a lot. The progress is a lot slower because every trick is so hard and technical that you have to. It's like learning kung fu or something like martial arts. You know, that's something. crazy. You need a lot of brain, it's hard to do. BMX jumps and stuff, it's just like you sending yourself and feeling some happy feelings, laughing with your friends and crashing. So
Yeah.
it's more like that.
Yeah, I
But
Yeah.
remember I remember seeing one of my good friends that I skated with. He would skate and he would do flatland BMX, and I just remember watching him do flatland and thinking that has got to be so tough with the amount of balance and precision and everything that you need for those flatland tricks. I don't know what any of them are called, but there was one where he'd go up on the pegs, he would 180 so he's facing the other way with his wheel turned around, and then he'd put his foot on top of the tire and kick it and do
mm,
a manual essentially
yeah,
while on the pegs with the rest of the bike in front of him. I was like, how are you doing that? It
yeah,
always blew my mind,
it's super,
what he was
yeah,
able to do.
it's super gnarly because so much balance, right?
Yeah.
Like in my head, I could only try those tricks so many times, but then I needed more action. I wanted speed, I wanted to move around, I wanted to jump around. So in a way, my your brain works with a in a different wave, right? Or frequency. So I think that has a lot to do, you know.
Yeah. Bo.
Um,
Bo Wade was a very chill flatlander.
yeah, yeah, our friend, he was a flatlander and then he was like super chill, super quiet, very calculated person, and then extremely well talented athlete.
Yeah. He's still today, I think, my favorite flatlander, though.
Yeah, he rides really well. Yes, he's still riding a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he still does it, a lot of it. I see him post stuff every now and then.
I know he is. He continues to do so. So it's and yeah, and he's been doing it for like 30 years now. Like I want to say
Yep.
more than that. I've been doing it
Long
20 years.
time.
He's been doing it more. Yeah, for sure. And then, but that's like the cool thing about these sports or music. Once it gets you when you're young, then it stays with you forever, you know?
Hmm.
In in your opinion, who's the most underrated BMX rider?
Underrated. Dude, I think my homie, you know what? My homie, well, underrated meaning like doesn't get the credit that it deserves. Um, well, there's a few guys like that, but I don't know. I feel like there's Kevin Peraza is an amazing athlete, but then but then it's not that he does get a lot of credit. Maybe underrated might not be the word, but he gets extremely a lot of crazy credit. But I'm like, I feel like he's one of the guys that should be like everywhere in the planet, like extreme, like billboards and then TV and like getting crazy media like that. But they're like so chill. These guys are so chill and calm and quiet that I don't even think he even wants that, but that he's so skilled. The level of skills that he has for riding bikes is just from another planet. Like he should be like Sean White, something like that.
Should be like Shaun White.
Big time. They
Now, I
they
am
ride
curious if you could give advice to any young riders who dream of riding vert but are terrified to make that first drop in. What advice would you give them?
or BMX in general. Now I will say like start slow. Whether it's streets, doing rails, dirt jumping, or vert, always start slow. That no one is rushing them. Take your time. Make sure you enjoy what you're doing and that you have fun. And find a crew. Always find a crew doing it with the homies. That's so important. That's the key.
Yeah. And you talked about this a little in the beginning of the conversation that we started with you about Signal Park.
Hmm.
I want to know a little more about it because I know that I believe your father started that.
Yeah. So Signal Park, my dad, when I was competing in the USA. I was going from one place to another one, competing in X Games and all that stuff. And my dad out here started uh, doing bicycle demos with some. local guys. Then he talked to the city, and the city was like, yeah, we do have a piece of land that you could take over, put your ramps there, and then pretty much we have some ramps. So bring your ramps, mix them up, make them nice, and make sure you stay there and maintain them, because a lot of these parks, the city, anywhere in the planet, they will build them and they leave them alone. And they start deteriorating,
Hmm.
they run down and they're run down and ugly and they have holes and rusty, or concrete has like thick pores or holes in it, or cracks. So that's what usually happens, and especially down in South America. So my dad was like, yeah, hell yeah, give me the space. It's about 5,000 square feet. I'll take care of this. I'll start building ramps. And my dad started building ramps back to back to back, different ramps, doing events, competitions, exhibitions, a little bit of everything, put a lot of work into it, heart and soul. And then in 2000, that was 2006. In 2013, my dad died a heart attack. And then I was like, then what do we do? My family did not want it, the park. They didn't know what to do. My mom was like, I don't want nothing to do with it. And then in my head, I was like, I'm doing exams. I don't need to be here. But then I heard a voice like from God telling me like, dude, this is your time to give back, and this is your time to finish what your dad started. So that's when I was like, okay, hands on, talk to the sponsors, brought him back into Signal, and then we started building the park slowly. And now from 2013 till now, we've been working nonstop building the park every year, and it's getting better and better and better. And then now this year is actually our 20th anniversary. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're continuing to build it. It's kind of like a good memory for your dad, keeping his memory alive.
totally, 100%. And also, like for the community, they need it.
Hmm.
The kids need it. It gives me a purpose. Working with a purpose is nice. You help kids to stay out of the streets, give them a place to create sports, healthy lifestyle, and also me being a pro athlete, being so close to this, I want to inspire them and then push them to be better. So it's definitely I want to create an inspiring place, and a place for progression, and a place to keep the kids out of the streets.
Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, it is nice to kind of work with a purpose, so more
Yep.
than just
It's
the
always nice to
money.
give back to your community.
Totally, 100%. Yeah. That's it.
Now, because of social media, I know you're very much so a car enthusiast.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, my dad is a mechanic his whole life, so I've grown up around cars, so I've been kind of, thrust into the whole car scene and everything. But he has a 57 Chevy,
Nice.
and my
That's
husband
good.
actually has a 59 Chevy Fleetside truck that he built
Wow.
as well. But yeah, I'm just curious, how did you get into cars? I think your dad was also a mechanic.
Yeah, so back in the day, my dad used to race cars, build cars. So I grew up about around this environment, around yeah, the car environment. And then as soon as I turned 18, with my dad, we did restore one car, like a 73 Charger back in the day, and then from zero. And then after that, I moved to USA, and that's kind of where things got a little easier because I was building my BMX career. I was getting some cash, and I started buying some cars, sports car. And then from then on, I kind of got into like the tuning culture and racetrack culture. And then some friends invited me to do my friend Baki Lasek, skateboarder. Chris, you probably know Baki Lasek.
Hmm.
So,
I know
so
Bucky Lasek.
oh, you know about Baki
I
Lasek?
did. I met him in Orlando too, and finally met him
Oh,
in real life, and he's always been my favorite skater.
Oh, he was a Warp Tour. That's right. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Was it? Yeah. Yeah, he
Yes.
was. So, so that's right. I forgot. So he invited me to a racetrack to do a film for MTV, and then do a driving school at the Ford Racing School. So we did that, and that's when everything changed for me. I was like, dang, I guess now I know how to drive. The school was so cool and awesome that I will always be thankful for Bucky. And he got me into like track days and California style driving around on the weekends and things like that. And then, yeah, from then on, I started building my own cars, my own projects, and it's been nonstop since then. So,
What have been some of your favorite builds over the years?
ooh, my favorite ones, well, I have two that are pretty cool. The a Datsun 1973, but since Datsun is the same as Nissan back in the days, that's what it used to be, Datsun brand. We wanted to continue with the same line, and we put on that truck a Nissan Skyline R33 engine, R32 engine on it, which is uh, a 6 cylinders long block, like uh, I wouldn't say long block, but lengthwise is really long, which it barely fits in the car. We had to cut the firewall to fit one of the pistons. So it's like 6 pistons, straight line engine, turbo, that's supposed to push like 500 horsepower the way it is. And
Dang.
then also, but the truck is all rusty, white body, kind of old looking, kind of like a rat rod, but Japanese rat rod. And then the other one is the Skyline, that the R35, Nissan R35, that we have not finished yet, that has we fully built the engine to hold 1500 horsepower, and then we did full cage carbon fiber panels on the body and things like that. It's pretty badass, and I can't wait to finish it in the next year or two. So.
Yeah. Fun fact, my husband, when I re-met him after years, he actually was kind of in a tuner scene. He had a first gen Scion XB.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he actually sanded all
Gangster.
the paint down and put chalkboard paint on it
Oh, how
He-
how how do you do that?
with a sander
No, no,
by
but
hand.
the paint by
With
hand.
he just rolled it on with a paint roller,
Oh, no way. That's
right?
crazy.
You
That's
could draw on
wild.
it and everything.
Yeah, 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 totally, totally. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he went a little crazy too. He was like all obsessed with like Buzo pipes and stuff, and he had a little bit of a camber on it, but
Okay.
yeah.
That's
He used to
cool.
get stuck on speed bumps because his
Yeah, because
car was
it's
so
too
low.
low, right? Oh, wow. Yeah, those are the worst, or when it scratches, like
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, it
He's
hurts.
like, I have these pieces of wood in my back of my car just so I can get off the speed bumps when I get stuck.
Oh no, that butt. Wow. Dang. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's extreme. But hey, looks before comfort.
Yeah, I'll have to. He doesn't have the car anymore. He sold it to a buddy that was moving to Texas.
Hmm.
But I think that buddy might have sold that car too. So now it's got like another owner. But I could
Yeah.
send you some pictures of it, let you
Yeah,
see what it
when you
looked
get some
like.
pictures, yeah, send it to me. I would love to see that car. That sounds wild. That's epic. Yeah, the science. Yeah, Scion people are like super deep into tuning,
Oh
and like
yeah.
they love that
Yeah,
stuff.
the tuner scene in Wisconsin was pretty crazy sometimes. But I don't know if it's still, I think it's probably still crazy, but just in
Yeah,
general, everywhere.
it evolves.
Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
and there's more and more cars, new models. So as long as they bring in new cars, there will be always the desire to build new cars and continue doing that. Until you
Yeah.
have one or two, three babies and you realize that, dang, this is real life. I need to stop playing with cars, maybe. For some people,
Nah.
for some people, yeah. Not everybody, yeah.
Do you have a dream car?
Actually, I was thinking about that a couple of days ago. I was like, what will be a sick car? I love McLarens. I love McLarens, but I will love old Lamborghini Diablo, like
Lamborghini
Jeep.
Diavolo was always my favorite car
Yeah, it was
growing
like
up.
the 90s, like badass supercar, right?
Yep.
That one, which is kind of like vintage retro, very square, but there's the race version of that, more aggressive. It's pretty sick. I love it. I love it. It's so amazingly beautiful. And so probably something like that.
Yeah. They're probably really hard to come across now, the Diablos
Oh,
too.
well, if you have money, then
Well, yeah, if you have enough
everything's
money,
everything's
anything's
possible.
possible.
Exactly.
Chris,
Exactly.
do you have a dream car or are you just not into cars that much?
I am into cars. I was, as we've been talking about it, my dream car is weird. And like, I've never really been super like with sports cars. I really want to get a Porsche Cayenne, which is like
Mm,
the SUV, but then I want to lower it.
mm.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
why, but I want to do that. Okay, but if I'm talking like an actual, I don't know about a sports car. That's the thing. Like I've always wanted the weird cars.
Yeah, yeah.
Like nothing to do necessarily with a sports car. I'm trying to think. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know about a sports car. I always wanted to like do something weird to a Saturn Ion. Like just put a really weird wrap on it or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
That'd be fun. Neon green.
So just like a ridiculous car, do something ridiculous to it. So when you're driving down the street, people look at you and they're like, "That is stupid." And
What?
I
that's
see
the
that
reaction
now
I want of
though. I
people.
see cars like that all the time.
Okay, what?
Exactly.
Like a Cybertruck? Like
Yeah.
not one out of the factory
Oh,
ridiculous.
Yep.
Like
They built that one ridiculous.
yeah, that one definitely cuts everybody's attention, right? It's
Yeah,
wild.
especially when you see like a pink one.
Yeah, or a chrome or something like bright.
I don't know, man. I
you know
can't get
what?
on the Cybertruck train.
You know what? I would take an S2000.
Oh, yeah, those are sick. Yeah, they're actually pretty good. Like one of the best cars in the planet. Power, weight ratio, and all that, and handling. They're supposed to be insane.
Now I've heard that like the Miata is well balanced.
That too. Yeah, th those two cars are like super. Yeah, the Miata is way it was way cheap. The
Hmm.
Hmm.
S2000s are expensive, and but the Miata is good because it's like a good entry car to destroy and learn. You know,
Isn't
like
it? They still use the rotary engine with it too, don't they?
with the Miata,
Yeah.
I have no clue about the Miatas. I don't even know what engine comes in it. I have no clue. I have some friends they are part of the Miata club, and I know they track them. Some of them drift them. And the car is amazing, but honestly, you caught me on that one. I don't even know. Hey, ask ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you today? But
He's gonna
yeah,
look it up right now anyways.
how are you? Okay, sick.
Yeah.
When he looks off to the side, I know he's typing something.
No, okay.
He's on it.
No, they don't use rotary engines.
That's right.
Um,
Figure.
Darn.
Those are expensive. Rarity come in the RX-7, RX-8. I think those cars. But I don't know what other car might have that rotary engine as well. That's like a ro like the name says, it's like it rotates. Instead of going up and down
Hmm.
internally, it rotates. It creates a different sound, high pitch sound. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
and now we're down to our last question. The
Yes.
most important question.
All right.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, Velociraptor, dude. Those are sick. Velociraptors are sick because they're fast, they're aggressive. I mean, they're not like T-Rex, right? Obviously, everybody likes the T-Rex, but uh, but I don't know. I feel like the Velociraptors are more agile, fast, sharp, intense. They're way intense. Well, for what we've seen in movies, because honestly, we don't I've never seen one alive and we don't know. The only information we got about dinosaurs is from history books and movies. So if you believe in those, which I do believe in the movies they showed,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, I like the Velociraptors.
I could see you liking a velociraptor because, like you said, they're fast and agile, and you're fast and agile when you're riding.
I try. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, yeah. So I'll take that one. Even though they have short arms, the speed that is still they're still cool.
Yeah, their arms are longer than a T-Rex's though, right, Chris? Yeah.
I think on the
They have a little more reach.
body
A little
balance,
more.
seems like they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
I've only watched 2 episodes so far, but I started watching the Netflix dinosaur documentary that Morgan
Oh,
Freeman is narrating. So if you haven't heard about it, you should definitely watch it. But I've only watched the first 2 of the 4 episodes because it's like a 4 hours.
oh wow, that's a long episode.
Well, the episodes are 1 hour each. That's why they have like 4 of them.
Gotcha.
So you can watch it in little increments. But so far, it's been interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's sick. Good to know that. I love documentaries like that.
Yeah, I love animal documentaries in general. And I mean, dinosaurs are animals, so
Uh-huh. Even though even though they have short arms, it's still animal.
not all dinosaurs have short arms, though.
It's true. Some of them.
Some of
Some
them
of
do.
them.
But I will be curious, Chris, to ask our paleontologist friends what they think of the documentary.
They're probably sitting there pointing out everything wrong Morgan Freeman is saying.
Totally, no kidding.
But yeah, the dinosaur question was our final question. Is there anything you want to add on to the end of this conversation before we hit ending record?
Just send some motivation to the kids and BMXers to keep your faith up and ride hard. That's all I have to say.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure chatting with you and hearing what you've been up to the last 17 years.
Only, yes, for you. Same for you guys. I appreciate your time and motivation. And then I'm glad we were able to connect, even though we're in different parts of the world.
It is
Technology
true.
saved us. So thank you guys for the time and very nice to see both of you guys again.
Yes. Thank
Hopefully
you.
we'll connect soon at some warp through this year.
Yeah, you can see Chris at DC. I won't
Uh-huh.
be
I'll
there
be in
though.
DC.